Well, welcome to Narrogin for 2023 B-grade Grand Final. In the commentary box there, Yogi Melbourne with Tim Coucher. Welcome, dude.
Yes, good afternoon, Yogi. Looking forward to a magnificent game of football.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We've just seen, unfortunately, Narrogin supporters go down in the C grade by 20 points, and they unfortunately lost the D grade as well by some 4 points. So Williams Narrogin in the big one in the B grade. Just waiting for spectators to get off the field.
Dale Painter of security removing them.
Yes. Can be angry man sometimes. You've got to be careful with him. So umpire Tonkin in the middle of the ground. Much anticipated contest, this one. So umpire Tonkin and toss the ball up to start the B grade Grand Final for 2023. In the ruck up they go. No one can really win the knock. Shark there by Phelps. Feeds a handball out the back of the pack. No one can gather. Herbert goes in. Can't gather. There's a Hawk player in Mead on the ground. Feeds a handball out. Williams player get the ball through player in Dixon. Try to get it forward. Soccer off the ground. In comes Turner. He can't gather. Eventually Rowe gets the first kick of the game. Gets it towards centre wing. A bit of a push there, but the umpire says play on. Goes in the direction of the Hawks captain in Walling. He's heavily met by Smith. A good play by the Narrogin Hawks as they weave through the middle of the ground. Get it in the direction there of Coleman. It's outside 50. Left half forward close to the boundary line. And it crosses the line for a boundary throw-in.
It's going to be a very interesting start to this game with two big forwards at each end, with Ralphie kicking at one end and Ryan Pearce at the other, and they might have a big say in the proceedings today.
Williams Cats got an extra back in front of Pearce down there. They've got spare in their forward line, which fortunately for the Hawks, it's a secondary throw-in. So a big crowd here at Narrogin and Matera Oval this afternoon. Anticipating a couple of big senior games of football. The ball's one down, but there's a pack form. Players tackled. Eventually Smith gets a kick forward, goes down there in the direction of Kickett. He gets it towards the middle of the ground, looking for Malachi Bolton. Couldn't gather the ball. Eventually, I think it's Phelps goes to ground. Umpire says he was taken high.
Davey Medlin.
That's Davey Medlin. The best Medlin. So Davey Medlin, just backward to the centre circle, goes down the ground. It's a good kick. Oh, superb fist on it there by the Narrogin Hawks defender. They push it down towards half forward. It's a good kick, and the mark's been taken. But I think it might be long. Oh, he kicks it straight into the man on the mark. He can't gather. Was Little. In there was Peace. Feeds it out the side of the pack. Oh, flipped over the top there for a player in Dixon. Eventually they get it forward in the direction there of Turner. He can't gather. Off half back. The Hawks break free, having one bounce. Oh, he's lost the ball. Gets pushed over. Good play by the Williams Cats. Ball's in dispute on the other side of the oval. Umpire says play on. No one can really get a clean possession. He has fierce tackling going on. That might have been a sling. Umpire says play on. Well, you'd think you're at Ballymore. There's no free kick. It's like a rugby scrum. Eventually the Cats work it forward. Bolton goes bang! Cleans up a Williams player. Oh. Wow-wee. Umpire's paid it down the ground free kick.
It was reasonably fair. It was just probably a fraction late. It's a big hit by Malachi Bolton.
The free kicks can be taken by, is it Smith? No, it's number 40. We don't have on our list. He goes long towards full forward. He's got the journey the whole way.
Lewis Payne, is it?
Lewis Payne. First goal of the afternoon to Payne for the Williams Cats. They're one straight. The Hawks yet to score.
Wow. It's a massive big bump there by Malachi Bolton in the middle of the ground. It's gone forward with the free kick, and Payne's kicked that from outside 50, and it's very good work on the goal line by Ryan Pearce, and it sailed through. It's a great start by Williams.
Yeah, always good to get the first one on Grand Final day. They had a pretty comfortable win in the second semi by some 5 or 6 goals. So big day for the Cats with two teams in this afternoon. So ball back in the middle. Umpire Tyrrell this time has got the honours. Tosses the ball up. One there by Bullied. Goes to the side of the pack. No one can go there. Bolton goes in hard. Herbert, the old veteran, gets it and gets a soccer forward. Goes here in the direction there for the Cats in McNamara. Can't gather. It's flicked out the pack. In there was a player in Smith. He can't gather. Goes wide of the pack in the direction of Medlin. Paddles it in front of himself. He's got Whitby for company. It's close to the boundary line. The ball crosses for a boundary throw-in. So we wait on boundary umpire on the far side of the oval to toss the ball in. Ball tossed in. Herbert bullied, no one can gather. Eventually Medlin does, feeds a handball out to the skipper, cousin Medlin. I'm assuming they're cousins, Duper.
The lesser Medlin, should we say,
I was going
Jimbo?
to say, you're all cousins over there at Williams, I would have thought. But it's going to be a boundary throw in. Close to the scoreboard.
Oh, no, we've got a free kick for a high tackle.
It's going to go to Blake Warburton. So Warburton, some 70 metres from goal. Centres the kick in the Pearce direction. Out he comes, a big fellow. He couldn't take the mark. Down there, the Hawks jump on it, and they're going to form a ball up. Ball just dropped a bit in the breeze there, and we're going to have a ball up some 40 metres out from the Cats' goal. So ball tossed in the air. Pearce wins to the side of the pack. Eventually the Hawks scramble a kick forward. Only goes as far as Phelps there. He wheezes around one Hawks player. Thumps it back whence it came. Deep in defence. Pearce is down there. Can't gather. Off hands taken by Jetta Bolton. Just clears the zone. But David Medlin, who started pretty well, far side of the ground, goes with a left foot kick. Oh, the direction of the skipper. Can't take it. Hawks come out through a player in normal. Paddle it towards the boundary line. No one can gather, but it's close to the line.
It's another free kick for a high contact.
Well, another free one. So this is going to go to Bullied, who started in the ruck.
Started well too against Big Damo Herbert.
So Bullied. He's a bit far out, sort of nearly kicking into the breeze out there. Goes on the left boot. High towards full forward. No one can gather. It's close to the line. Picked up down there by the goal kicker in pain. And just gets it through for the minus score. So they go to 1-1. The Hawks are yet to score. So Bolton, Malachi Bolton goes with a big kick. He gets it 70 metres from home. Running onto it was the skipper there in Walling. Can't gather the ball at this stage. Also in there was a player in Curfey. Brent flicks out the back of the pack. Who's there for the Hawks? It was Coleman. Eventually they feed it through and get it towards half forward. Oh, two Hawks meet, but it comes out to
Tommy Peace.
He goes sideways. It's close to the line again, but the Cats keep it in. It might have been bullied again. Gets the left foot. Hawks have got the numbers down there, and the B-grade medalist for the year in Bolton, who started well with a few possessions and a good hip and shoulder.
Any danger they can come this side of the ground?
Well, they've gone far side again. It's always a commentator's curse, but it's a good mark out there taken by the player. Was it Medlin? It's McNamara. He gets it towards half forward, close to the line, and guess who?
Malachi
Kicked the kick. Bolton's got it. He goes down the line the Curfey direction. Had too much on it. Breeze playing a bit tricky here, Duke.
Oh, it always goes to the scoreboard side here, the scoreboard pocket at Wagen, and once again it goes there again. Davey Medlin will have a field day out there today. So
he comes in, and guess who's going to mark this?
Malachi Bolton.
I'd say that's his fourth or fifth mark already.
Yep.
We've only been playing some 5 or 6 minutes.
He was always going to be probably the most influential player on the ground today, and he's definitely started that way.
He gets kicked to the far side of the ground. No one can take it. Whipped up by Bullied. He just slams it back in again. Where's Pearce at the back? Or used the hands pretty well. And the umpire says that was fair. And Pearce, who kicked the winning goal 2 years ago in the grand final with some 20 seconds to go for the Williams Cats to get him over the line by 4 points. He's going to have his first shot on goal this afternoon.
Just too big and too strong in that situation, Big Ryan Pearce. It's an experience. He has plenty of it.
So Pearce, the big number 46, comes on the right boot. He's celebrating. The goal umpire, John Murray, did a lot of work.
Oh!
He says, I'm in charge. And it's a point. Pearce, I think, trying to con the ump there. Tank having nothing of it. So Norwell from full back decides to go straight down the middle of the ground in the Herbert direction. Bullied's there for company, but over the back.
That's a very good mark.
Williams Cats have taken the mark. I think it might have been
Charlie
Coucher. He gets it in the direction of Bolton. He can't take the mark. Hawks have the numbers down there. They'll be willing to force this through from behind. Eventually they did. It's
push in the back.
He's put a push in the back, so no score.
It's Liam Todd.
So the Cats doing all the attacking. They've only scored the 8 points, so a little kick in from full back finds Caleb Rowe in the back pocket. Bit of possession football here probably wouldn't hurt.
Keep coming this side.
Oh, he's decided to switch it to the far side of the ground to Isaiah Jetta Bolton. So he gets it and gets off on a bit of a gallop. Goes in the direction of Herbert and Bullied. Bullied did well, but he couldn't get a fist on it, and Herbert's taken the mark. So here's a chance for the Hawks, that first Furo forward, but it wasn't a great kick. Mark dropped on the far side of the oval by the Williams Cats. In there was Curfey, also Medlin there. And it's forced across the boundary line in front of a pack of Tigers. There's black and gold everywhere on that side of the oval. Waiting for the next game, I'd suggest. Ball tapped down, taken by Curfey, flips it over the top. Can't find a teammate. In there was Coleman, eventually picked up by Herbert, down in the direction there of Kickett, but he wants to run back to the goal square because if Mead can get this, Ralphie will be all alone. The Cats did well. They eventually force it towards centre wing in the direction there of the big fella in Dixon. Can't gather.
Well, that's well done.
Good
well
tackle
played.
there. And eventually, umpire says we'll ball it up because Thomas Klug was on the bottom of the pack. He was going to be away if he couldn't be held up. So ball tossed up, bullied again, spikes this to the back of the pack. Hawks have the numbers. Down there, the Hawks player in Jeremy Ugle can't gather. Eventually, the Cats work it forward. Or was it Norval? No, it was a big fella for the Hawks. Couldn't gather it. They've got numbers there, but can they release this football? Oh, goes Jetta Bolton. Might have been taken high on the bottom of the pack. It was accidental.
Young Nelson collected him high there.
But he's going to take the free kick. And there's not a lot of movement up the ground.
There is no movement.
So he goes in the direction of Malachi Bolton. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? He doesn't let you down too often. I think Malachi should be playing at 2:30, not at 12:30. He gets it across the ground and finds Ugle. Feeds a handball onto a teammate, and it's a bit of a wobbler towards half forward. But he's found a teammate down there for the Narrogin Hawks. I think it might have been Caleb Hart. He goes in the direction there of Kicker, but good, strong play by Fisher. Pretty similar size to Ralph. Goes down the log line. No one can take the mark. In there was Todd. He gathers, tries to flick it over the top. Oh, through the legs of a Hawks player. Todd goes back. Oh, he was taken high. Umpire didn't see it. Ralph Kicker didn't like it. He forces a player across the line. It's close to the boundary line. Williams Cats playing the football when they do well. Pick it up, go through centre wing. It's chopped off by Ugle. He has to release the football. Didn't only win about 5 metres. Eventually kicked by Klug, but he's been pushed as he kicked. Ball's crossed the boundary line. Jetta Bolton goes in short to Rowe. So the Hawks getting a bit of the football at the minute. Rowe waiting for a bit of movement up the ground. Goes long in the direction there of, might be Kickett. He can't gather. It's a good small by Smith for the Cats. Eventually picked up.
Brett Little,
Brett Little it was, yes. He feeds it into the middle of the ground for a bit of attacking. It didn't really come off. In there was bullied. Kick smothered. Goes back in the Warburton direction. He goes to ground. Feeding the ball out was Little again. The Cats try and break through. Eventually comes to Todd. He tries to feed it over to a teammate in Coleman, but it's kicked down the ground.
Coucher to Charlie
Coucher. Well, the Couchers, they're like the Crackers. They've fed the ball towards the centre wing. Down there was a player in Heath Turner-Reid. He couldn't gather. Eventually they feed it back to Turner-Reid. He's a left footer. He decided to go with the hands, and they go for a bit of a run through the middle of the ground to the Narrogin Hawks. Hart gets a kick. I'll tell you what.
Ralph didn't move.
He didn't move. Gary Fisher says, I'm out of here, and he left Ralph in his wake. He goes far side of the ground. Medlin's got the ball on centre wing. Oh, intelligent kick. Comes back through the centre of the ground and finds a skipper in Medlin. James Medlin, a new dad for the 3rd time not that long ago. Gets it down towards half forward. Williams Cats players got it down there in the number 40.
Reece Smith, the
Reece Smith is at 42, and he's tackled and holding the ball. So kicked the other side of the ground by the Hawks, and Caleb Rowe has had a few possessions, covering a bit of ground through the middle of the ground this afternoon. Goes towards centre wing. Where's Malachi? There's mark number 7, if you don't mind. Goes to the middle of the ground there in the direction of Todd. He doesn't break stride. Looks for Ralphie. Kick it! And he comes on the lead. Probably Hawks' best passage of play this afternoon.
Clearly their best passage of play.
And Ralphie Kickett. He plays pretty well at...
Just put this one down.
Plays pretty well at Matera Oval. Some say he may have been conceived there. He goes long towards full forward and makes no mistake and gets the Hawks first. They're 1 straight. The Cats are 1-2 and Matera Oval do.
Ralphie Kickett, you can rely on him. I thought as he's ageing, Ralphie's kicking distance has decreased, but he kicked that from 45, went straight through the middle and never looked like missing, as per normal for him.
Well, they're going to rely a fair bit on Kickett and
Malachi Bolton.
And Malachi Bolton's on fire, isn't he?
Oh, he started unbelievably well. I don't know whether Williams have got anyone they can put on him and just tag him, but they need to start looking at that, I would have thought, the coaching staff. Maybe the coach needs to go there, James Medlin might need to insert himself onto him.
Well, ball tossed up in the middle, 1 down again by the Williams Cats in bullied. No one can gather. It's a tackle there in the middle of the ground. Out comes a player in Rowe, he gets tackled. Walling releases. He's under pressure though. Williams Cat's going and Walling taps it forward. Comes to a player, I think it might have been Medlin again. Goes towards half forward. Backing back is Jetta Bolton. Can he gather? Or he goes one-handed. Couldn't do so. Eventually gathers now. Has to release the ball. Does so. Oh, the Hawks under all sorts of pressure. He's still tackled and hasn't released the ball.
Contact.
He was a bit fortunate.
He got lucky. He got lucky.
So waiting. It is Jetta Bolton. He's saying, where's Malachi?
Yep.
And guess what? There he goes for mark number 8. Oh, he drops this one and lets me down. Goes to the bottom of the pack. He's in there, is Bolton. No one can gather. And we're going to have a ball up on just 4 to centre wing for the Williams Cats, who lead this one by 2 points. Ball tossed up. Being good in the ruck, the big fella in Bully flicks it to the back of the pack, but it's close to the boundary line and crosses. So... bit of breeze blowing across the ground, but it's pretty good conditions for football, Luke.
Oh, it's beautiful weather here today in Wagen. The one player from Narrogin who hasn't had a lot of involvement is Kyle Kickett, and he's a very important player to him, and he's hardly touched the ball in this first quarter.
So the ball's on the other side of the oval.
Oh, look at that. I'll get him a touch.
You've done well. He gets a kick forward under a bit of pressure, though. He goes out there, direction of Smith. Can he gather close to the boundary line? He can't, and it's across the line for a boundary throw-in. So...
the boundary umpires on the far side of the ground today are going to get a fair workout just by going from this first quarter early.
Yes, good choice to win the toss and come this side, you'd think. So eventually the Hawks feed it back 25 metres to Bolton. He goes in the direction of Kickett. I think you've set him on fire, Duke. He's had 2 possessions in 30 seconds since you mentioned his name. Puts it out in front of Ugle. Well, he was grabbed without the football by Dobrich. And Jeremy Ugle's got the ball. A bit of a wrestle going on in the goal square. Ralphie says, put it out in front of me. Oh, if you're going to mark that, you do well, Ralph. Gets rid of one opponent. Couch is in there. Gets a kick forward. Goes to the middle of the ground, direction of Smith. But Kickett, Duper's favourite son, gathers the ball. Goes down in the forward pocket. There in the direction of Little. He gathers or spins out of one tackle. Has to release the football. Gives it back to Bolton. He's on world record pace for possessions in the first quarter. Chips it into the pocket. Intelligent play. Picks out Liam Todd. 30 metres out, deep in the forward pocket.
Oh, they've got a scuffle on the goal line between Ralphie and
he's got 2 of them.
Fisher. Someone's coming to give Gary a hand. Joey Phelps.
So Liam Todd, with those flags in front of us, the breeze favouring the end of where the Cats are kicking.
Left of screen.
So Todd comes in on the right boot, puts it right up, and it's faded out. The breeze actually took that one a bit, I think. They go to the ground. The Cats have the numbers. Oh, and a big fist down there from Curthy, was it? How the umpire missed that. Could have easily been a card. Cole Kickett's got the ball now. He gathers, feeds it in the Herbert direction. Oh, the big fella's not as quick as he used to be.
Roselle.
Couldn't gather. Oh, great tackle. What a magnificent tackle. And he's paid holding the ball. Superb tackle by Roselle on the 45 there in Ashton Kickett. Gets on with it quickly, goes down the ground. No one can take the mark. Turner Reid goes through, bash crash. Eventually the Hawks were at the back of the pack. He gets a high one. He might have slipped when he grabbed the ball in Graham Bolton, but he's going to get the free kick. So it's been a bit willing the last few minutes. He goes in short and finds Rowe. So Caleb Rowe, his brother's just won the best on ground in the C grade medal. Caleb started pretty well as well. So he goes in short and finds Jetta Bolton. So I think the Hawks realise they're pushing into a bit of a breeze. He goes in the middle of the ground. Liam Todd, he started really well. He has started well. So Todd's got the football. Gets on with it quickly. Keeps it close to the boundary line. Herbert's in this one as he's bullied. Kick it. Well, who do you want to mention next, Duper? Because and the siren sounds to beat the Narrogin Hawks players. Quarter time in the B grade grand final. We got the close one. The Williams Cats 1-2 lead the Narrogin Hawks 1 goal straight in a pretty good game of footy, Tim.
Very good game. I'll just run through the goal kickers, 1 each. For Williams, Lewis Payne has kicked 1 and Ralphie Kickett has kicked 1 for Narrogin. Some of the better players that quarter for Williams, I thought that David Medlin out on his wing was probably their best player that quarter. He was very, very good. James Medlin did a little bit. Big Charlie Bullet in the ruck was very, very good, and Charlie Coucher was quite good through the middle also. And for Narrogin, well, quite clearly their best player was Malachi Bolton. He must have had 10 or 15 touches that quarter. He was outstanding, and I thought Isaiah Jetta Bolton was very good down back for him also.
Yes, so quarter time here. I think the Hawks will be pretty happy with the end result, only a point behind or 2 points behind.
They would be exceptionally happy with that.
Cats probably didn't capitalise in that first 10 minutes.
We do look at the flags now, and the flags have dropped, but they have been fluctuating quite a bit. And there was a couple of stages there when young Todd had his shot at goal. The wind was probably at its strongest, and it blew it straight across the face of goal.
So Liberty Rule match of the day, B grade grand final at Matera Oval here in Wagen, or as Kev likes to call it, downtown Wagen. Williams Cats 1 goal 2. Williams Cats 1 goal 2 lead the Narrogin Hawks 1 straight.
Pedal break.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break there, Norm. I'll go from 10. One.
Yeah, welcome back to Matera Oval. Quarter time in the B grade first semi-final. Williams Cats 1-2 lead the Narrogin Hawks 1 straight. And the slight breeze to the left of screen, and Narrogin Hawks will have that in their favour this quarter.
Well, the Williams coaching staff must have been listening to me, because James Medlin has put himself on Malachi Bolton to start this second quarter. It was a natural move, I would have thought. He's the only one big enough and that could probably go with him, and maybe disciplined enough as well.
If you can tell us who's going to win the third at Kalgoorlie, Dupe, I'll put some money on it. You're going well so far. So ball back in the middle, tossed up by umpire Norton. Bullied, wins it, goes. Bolton tries to burst through. Kick, was in there as well.
It's dusting.
It's like they're up at the Gascoigne races. A bit of dust. There's one patch on the oval that's got a bit of dirt in it. It's right in the centre circle. So ball tossed up again. Bullied, did well, won it down, follows it up, gathers the ball. Umpire says held without the football. It's going to come back to Liam Smith, ex-Brookton Pingelly player. So Smith's got the ball, centre of the ground. Plays on, goes with a right boot inside, half forward, back with the flight of the ball was Ugle. think it may have been Jeremy Ugle. He's taken the mark. He's got a free player in Herbert on the middle of the ground. Well, where did Bullitt end up? So Herbert's taken the mark. Looking for a bit of movement up the field. Goes with that unusual kicking style in the direction there of Cole Kickett. Used the body well and took the mark. He'll wheel around. He'll look for Ralph. Ralph calls left, right, good night. No, he went the wrong way. Oh, Fisher read it, but he got a horrible bounce. Comes to kick it, tries to push off, gets tackled, has to release it. Oh, it found his teammate.
15.
Umpire says it didn't travel far enough. On the left boot was a player down there in Little. He's just missed to the left-hand side. They get the first score of the second quarter, 1-1 to the Hawks, 1-2 to the Cats.
Well, Ralphie did try the big palm off, but they stuck well then, Gary Fisher.
Yeah. So he brings it in from fullback. Ooh, wobbles at the far side of the ground. It's a good mark out there. Taken. Just trying to find that play. May have been Medlin. He goes down the ground on the direction of guess who? Malachi Bolton just takes on the chest. Hits the ground like a cat. Goes long towards full forward. Up they fly. No one can take the mark. The Cats had their hands on it. Comes out the back to kick it. Tries to spin out of trouble. He's tackled. Releases the football, says the umpire. I'm not sure that he did. Ball goes to ground and we're going to have a pack forming outside. He's played a high free kick.
Ooh, they've pulled a few of these out today against Bobby Dillon.
Yes, against a Little O. And the free kick, just trying to pick up that player.
No, you're better than me.
Maybe Hart, I think. He's got the free kick.
Warren Thorne, is it?
Thorne, not sure. He's about 20 metres out. Not on a huge angle. Comes in on the right boot. He likes it. Does goal umpire Murray? He does. So goal on the board. The Narrogin Hawks have hit the front early in the second quarter. They go 2-1. Lead the Williams Cats 1-2.
Very good goal. As the umpires obviously saw something that we can't, and we're 150 metres away, and he's a lot closer. So they've paid the high free kick, and he's gone back and slotted that beautifully.
Did well. They've started the quarter well, the Hawks.
Yeah, they've attacked the footy well. They've won that centre clearance quite well, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. With Williams changing things up a little bit here in the middle, whether they can make it work for them.
So Bully's been on top in the middle of the ground. Time up against Herbert. He wins another ruck knock. It's a good one too. Down the direction there of
Roselle.
Cats player, and Roselle gets it inside 50.
Player.
It's a good kick. Oh, great spoil by Turner Reid. Ball comes to ground. In there was Kickett. Can he gather? The Williams Cats in Smith gather the ball. There's plenty of numbers around this football. I think we're going to have a ball up.
Oh, very, very, very timely spoil there by Turner Reid.
Certainly was. He's been okay this afternoon.
Their youngsters have started really well for Narrogin.
Ball tossed up. No one can really run. Goes to the side of the pack. In there was Medlin. Goes out there in the direction.
Charlie
player
Coucher.
in Coucher. Paddles it forward. Oh, got one a bit high for mine. Umpire says play on. Medlin, the veteran, gathers. Goes on the left boot in the direction of the car park. And he's found it. A bit wide. It's going to be a free kick. Bring it back to play. Graham Bolton for the Narrogin Hawks. Far side of the ground. Knew the commentary box should have been over there. Bolton goes to centre wing. From behind was
that's a good mark by Bullied.
Kickett couldn't spoil Bullied. He thumps it back to 50 again. Pack forms, plenty of numbers. They try and work it through to the Hawks, but cutting it off may have been Coucher again. Can't gather. Turner Reid was in there. Goes to ground. Ball's held up. And we're going to have a ball up. Williams Cats just having a bit of the play at the minute. They'd like a goal on the board. Ball tossed up. Flicked out the side of the pack. That ruckman was Nelson. Eventually they get it forward in the direction of Ugle. He misses all and sundry. Has to go back and gather. Down there was Pearce, the big fella. Can he pick it up? He's close to the line. Leaves us for his teammate. They eventually kick it inboard. Herbert's there. Has to spoil the board. At the back was Bolton. Has one bounce. He'll have a second. Nearly gets tackled. The ball didn't come back to him. He runs probably 25 metres, gets it out there in the direction of the goal kicker in Thorne. Or was it Kickett? Down the ground. Who's there? It's Coleman. Coleman's taken the mark. They could go coast to coast, the Hawks here. Ralph's not moving. He's
too far.
He's just putting his hand in there. It was a good kick, and Todd's taken the mark.
It's been very, very good and very lively early.
So Liam Todd got the ball, goes on the right boot in the kick it direction, fishes down there, but Ralph at the back of the pack has taken the mark. He used his body, took the chest mark, he got rid of Fisher. He got him in the wrong position, or the right position for Ralph's benefit, and he'll go back and slot number 2, one would have thought, and give the Hawks a mini break. In he comes on the right boot, no mistake from goal umpire Murray, and they move along to 3-1. They lead the Williams Cats 1-2.
Ralph's probably better getting him set on his head like that, kicked in and set on his head than on the lead, because Fishers can go with him on the lead, but I don't know if he can outbody him. He's just got too much going on there.
Yeah, it's a fair bit of a lean-to there for Ralph, I must admit. It's grown over the years, but he's been a mighty player.
You can't beat talent, and he's got plenty of it.
Correct. So we're back in the middle of the ground. First 2 goals of the second quarter to the Narrogin Hawks.
Bully's been outstanding in the ruck, but Williams haven't been able to capitalise on it as well as they should do.
So up they go. Herbert and bullied again. Bullied again wins a knock, but read by Bolton. Someone's got to stand on his toes, one would have thought. He gets it inside 50. Pack forms on the back of the pack. Was a player at Coleman. Where's Kickett? There he is! Oh, good, strong hands from Ralphie Kickett. And the little fellas in Coleman and Todd have been very good in the forward line. And Ralph, for 2 and 30 seconds on the right boot, makes goal umpire Murray work a bit, but he's kicked it. He's got his third. 3 out of 4 for Ralphie Kickett. And a bit of concerning times for the Williams Cats.
Yeah, they just can't win the ball out of the middle. And obviously Malachi Bolton's doing a power of work in there, and he's clearing it every time. And as soon as they get it forward, Ralph only needs a sniff, and he's very good. Remembering
that Narrogin Hawks lost the B-grade grand final by a point last year, so
in controversial circumstances, it could be said.
Correct. So Brookton Pingelly the victors on that day. So ball back in the middle, change of ruckman as Ugel's put into the middle. It was probably a 50-50 in the ruck too. The Cats try and work it forward. They do so. It spills out the back. Bit of ping-pong aerial stuff going on in there. It was Dixon. No one can really clear the ball. Player there in Ugle gets it out. They go forward again to the Narrogin Hawks. Oh, a bit of speed down there, but eventually chopped off by the Williams Cats. They've got it on centre wing. A little chip forward. It's 2-on-1 if they can gather. Oh, we've got a fickle bounce. Ugle did well. Fed it back to Herbert. He said, let's get it out of here. A kick would have been better, Damo. I'll give you the tip. Oh, Warburton goes in. He gets crunched as he kicks the ball. The Hawks have got it now through Little. He's got it on that right. It's actually Graham Bolton's got it. Inside defensive 50, just pops it in the air, looking for a player in Thorn. Over the top was Peace. He hadn't really been in it much this afternoon. Comes to Jetta Bolton. He'll use the football, goes down the line. Williams Cats go back. Oh, they spoil one another. Comes out the back to Coleman. Feeds to Rowe. He'll go back inboard. Should have flicked it over the top. Goes in a direction of Kickett. Fisher comes out. He misses the ball.
Phelps.
Did well. Phelps fed it to Fisher. Back to Phelps. They get it to centre wing where Bully should mark this one. Up they go. Ugle spoils it. Comes to Midland. Oh, he went to feed a handball off. Jetta Bolton cut it off. Umpire says too high.
Free kick.
So free kick to Jetta Bolton. Just getting a bit willing. Now he goes out wide and finds Rowe. Liked his first quarter and a bit. So Caleb Rowe waiting for a bit of movement. He's got a player. Malachi in the centre of the ground. Oh, it was free. It wasn't the greatest of kicks, but it's found his target. It wobbled a fair bit to get there. So Malachi.
He's wandering back like he's going to have a shot at goal.
He is. Well, he puts it out wide. Not a great kick because Phelps is there. Or the Narrogin Hawks player didn't actually go for the football, I wouldn't have thought. Could have been a free kick for mine. Umpire says benefit of the doubt, and it's crossed the boundary line there in front of Dane Medlin and Brett Little. So right in front of the scoreboard. 4-1 to 1-2. We don't want to draw. I'll give you the tip because there's been a few around country leagues this year. Ball tossed in. Through it comes to Medlin. He gets it onto his boot quickly. There's going to be a free kick down the ground. Walling was dealt with by the look of it.
No, it's a free kick to Williams, back in play to Dylan Littlelow.
Saw Walling on the ground. No, it's going to go to Warburton. So, hold on.
You've got to go back around.
Some would say a bit pedantic, but they are in charge. And we love the umpires, don't we, Duke?
We do. They do a great job.
So, we wait on Warburton. He's going to go the same direction, one would think. And he does. Goes to the far side of the ground. Up they go. Oh, it's a good mark by Medlin. Takes the mark just inside the boundary line.
It's been Williams' best player today.
So Medlin down forward of centre wing, fist over the back. In there, Jetta Bolton could gather. Eventually does. Feeds it out the back. The Williams Cats playing. The Hawks in Galvin. The kick smothered. Turner Reed's got to go back and gather. Oh, he's wrapped up in a tackle. They eventually get it forward in the Pierce direction. The free kick's going to come back to Turner Reed. He was dealt with after he got rid of the handball. So Turner Reed goes with the left boot down towards centre wing. Or he's attempted a teammate couldn't gather the mark. They soccer it forward. Down there was Kickett, who sort of threw that out. Eventually it's a player there in Kickett, tries to feed it through, comes to the skipper in Walling. He goes towards half forward. Fisher says, come with me, Ralph. He says, no, I'm not going to.
No, I don't chase.
And Fisher does well and kicks a good kick to the far side of the ground and finds Joey Phelps. So Phelps gets on with it quickly in the direction of Dixon and a player in
Johan Bolton.
Johan Bolton.
It's gone out in the full.
It has gone out in the full, so Bolton's got the free kick.
Graham Bolton.
Kicks it up towards half forward. Up they fly, no one can take the mark. It's close to the line in front of Todd. It crosses the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, that boundary umpire is going to earn his beer tonight.
Well, he might be doing the league as well, so he might get very thirsty. It's young Adams. Froggy Adams on the other side of the oval. Throws the ball in. Herbert just takes it out the ruck, gets a kick towards half forward. Down there, Fisher's there. In comes Kickett, gathers. It was a good tackle. He has to release. Eventually comes out
Thorne.
to Williams Cats, the Hawks player in Thorne. He might have kicked another one. He has. They've got goal number 5.
Good goal.
Thorne's got his second. Kickett has 3, and the Hawks have got a break they wanted there. 5 goals, 1. They lead the Williams Cats 1 goal, 2.
They have made the most of every opportunity they've had going forward this quarter, the Hawks. Unlike Williams, when they went forward in the first quarter, they wasted opportunities, and the Hawks have made the most of everything here.
Certainly have, and 4-goal advantage just before half time.
Dixon's gone into the ruck for Williams. It's a very, very handy lead in any game, let alone a grand final.
Oh, yes. So ball tossed up. This one won by Herbert in the direction there of Bolton. He's been held without the football, so Bolton's going to get a free kick. He's nearly got leather poisoning at half time. He's called on Ralphie run.
Come on, Ralph.
Ralph says, I'm not running. Goes long in the direction down there. Up they fly. Oh, it's a good mark. A great, strong mark down there by
Kyle
Kickett. He's
that'd be a contender for the Sports Power Narrogin mark of the day.
It would be. We might
if it was in the 2:30 game.
Yes, if only. So Kyle Kickett, chance to kick their 5th goal of the quarter. Comes in on the left boot, floats it towards full forward, but it's good enough.
He's happy.
He's got his first. Hawks have got their 6th. The 6 goals, 1 on the scoreboard, lead the Williams Cats 1 goal, 2, and it's getting a bit ugly at this stage for the Williams Cats.
Yeah, they just cannot get a clearance out of the middle of the ground, and Narrogin just keep getting it and pumping it forward, and every time they go in there, they score. It's a pretty simple game sometimes.
Certainly is, and even Froggy Adams, boundary up on the other side, he's got to go and collect the ball from behind the goals. The other blokes aren't helping him out too much.
Well, Clayton South's doing this side, and he doesn't look like he's done too much running lately.
Nah, he's running a bit like Ralphie at the minute. Next size down though. So ball tossed up, middle of the ground, up they fly. One down there by Dixon. Eventually the Cats move it forward towards half forward. Can they gather? Coucher it was, gives it over to maybe Warburton, gets it towards half forward. Down there was Hugo. Oh, weaved a passage through the pack, did really well. Gets it on the right boot, but it's going to come back from whence it came because Medlin out there, he's taken the mark, chips it in short.
It's Roselle.
Finds a teammate in Roselle. Needs to get more of the footy. He certainly does. Pops it up towards full forward. Ugle in front. Big spoilers are a crummer. Walling was a crummer. He goes back together. Socket off the ground by the Williams Cats. Can they gather? Eventually they do. And celebrating is number 37, Connor McNamara. And did the Cats need that one?
It's a very good goal. They had to. Well, they eventually got one forward. And as soon as they got it forward, they scored. But they just haven't had those no inside 50s at all this quarter. And when they did, they score.
So back to a 4-goal margin, just under. And for the Williams Cats' sake, they'd want another one before half time, you'd think.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go. Still a chance to get another couple of more. If they're anything 2 or 3 goals at half time, you're still in the game.
Certainly are. So Dixon in the ruck against Herbert. Up they go. Oh, it's a big fist. He gains 15 metres. Oh, he's gone down. He's hurt himself, Dixon, by the look of it. Might have done a ankle or something. No, it's going the other way.
That's what I thought. I had to go that way.
I think he's hurt his knee, Dixon. He's going to come off the ground.
He's not moving well.
Not too handy for them. So the Williams Couch has got the free kick, pops it up inside 50. Pearce comes from 40. Oh, big spoil by Ugle. Goes out in the direction of Catcher. He can't gather. Oh, Turner Reid. No, it's not. It's Todd. He gets it, goes to the far side of the ground. Good kick and fix out Rowe.
Well, Todd and Rowe have been very good.
So Rowe's got it, just back with a centre wing, called to play on, then decides to run around his opponent. Oh, he tried to do too much. It could come back whence it came. In the middle of the ground was Medlin. He's got to release the football. Does so. It's a good kick in the direction of Coucher.
Hey.
Kicked the last goal, took a good mark.
McNamara.
Sorry. He's
can't all be Couchers.
So he's related to him. He'll be related for sure. Goes long towards full forward. Player being held. Umpire says play on. The Hawks had all the numbers. Ugle gets it. Goes towards Galvin direction. Oh, he can't gather. Under a bit of pressure down there. Pushed off the ball. They did well to Williams Cats. Eventually, good smother. Galvin comes back in. Gathers. This time he's going close to the boundary line. And there was Medlin. He gathers. Has to release. So he goes by hand. Picks it up. There was... there's a whistle gone. No, well, I must have been hearing things. McNamara, they all stopped, and McNamara gets a kick inside 50, but Bolton back there takes a relieving mark. So Bolton waiting for a bit of movement. Called to play on now, so he's going to go sideways in the direction there of Jetta Bolton. Malachi's making a pass for the other side of the ground. He's not going to get the football. Rowe.
He will. He'll get it.
Rowe's got the ball now. Yeah, the Cats didn't go with him.
It's lazy from Williams.
Cats didn't go with him, and Bolton's got it. He'll come back inboard. Has a bounce. Runs to defensive 40 and then thumps it down the wing in the direction there of Isaacson. Kick it, gets it and takes off. Hits the ground running. Has one bounce. Has a second. Has to go on his non-preferred in the direction there of Ralphie. Kick it close to the boundary line. And we're going to have a boundary throw-in, but all set up by Malachi Bolton.
Yeah, they need to go with him. Lewis Payne had the chance to go over and run with him, and he's let him run past him.
It's actually gone out of bounds on the full. Sorry about that. And they work it back in the Todd direction. Can he gather? Close to the line. Did really well. Has to go back the direction it came, but Little Ode's down there.
It's gone out of bounds, has it? No, it's coming back.
He must have Todd must have been dealt with after he got rid of the football, I'd say, because he's got the free kick, goes in short in the row direction, drops what he should have taken close to the boundary line. Eventually goes on the right boot, should have put it to the top of the square. Instead he blazed away, missed all and sundry, out of bounds on the full. So we're waiting the Williams Cats. Bring it back in again in the direction there of Rowe. Going up was bullied, can't gather. Eventually goes back and roves the ball himself. Flicks a handball over the top, probably unnecessary. Rowe gets a little kick forward. Out comes kick it of the Ralph direction. Feeds it off to
Brett Little.
Maybe Little goes long towards full forward. Up they go. Big fist on it by the Williams Cats. They're under a bit of pressure down here. Isaacs paddles it out. Comes out to player in Thorn, feeds it backward. Isaacs there, gets tackled, maybe without the football. The umpire says play on. Eventually Medlin's got it. He gets a little kick forward in the Warburton direction. Flicks it over to Medlin again. He goes down the wing. It's a good kick. The mark's been taken by McNamara. So Williams Cats are under a bit of pressure then. McNamara's got to go short because they had all the numbers down the ground. Medlin gets tackled, gets Med heavily. And the umpire's going to pay a free kick against Jetta Bolton.
It was well done by James Medlin then.
He's
a bit ordinary. He's a bit groggy. He's going for a scat test, I would have thought.
Well, he's not as bad as Melvin was last week. I'll give you the tip, and he's staying on like him. Ball goes to half forward, and Pearce uses the body, takes the mark, some 40 metres out, but he'll take his best kick. I think Jimmy Medlin's come to the bench.
He's coming off for a test.
See, plugger, that's what you're meant to do. Anyway.
Big Ryan, what can he do? They need this one desperately, Williams.
Yeah, they've hung tough for the last 5 or 6 minutes. So Ryan Pearce keeps it low and steers it just to the right-hand side. Minus score only. He's kicked his second behind of the afternoon. They move to 2-3. Narrogin Hawks 6-1. They bring it in quickly and Pearce just floats across. Did well and took the mark. This time he's a bit further out.
Yeah, he's not kicking that.
No. Wind the clock back 10 years, he was a chance.
Timekeeper Ryan Wilkie says he'll kick this.
Well,
he needs to because the seconds are ticking down on the clock.
And he goes long to the goal square.
take a
Can the
mark.
Cats take a mark? Up they go. Or have a crumb. They do crumb it. Snap, but it was touched off the boot. Minor score only. They move along to 2 goals 3. Might be 2 goals 4. Narrogin Hawks are 6 goals 1. They've had a 5 goal to 1 quarter of the Narrogin Hawks. They've been pretty handy. Ball's brought in short. Goes to Jetta Bolton. He comes broadcast side. Guess who? Bolton, up he goes. But in front was a player in Charlie Bullied who couldn't take the mark. And it's half-time in the B-grade grand final down here at Matera Oval. And it sees the Narrogin Hawks with a 5-goal second quarter lead. 6 goals 1 over the Williams Cats. 2 goals 4.
All right, very, very good first half of football from the Narrogin Hawks there. They're just a little bit bit better when they went forward and made the most of their opportunities. Goal kickers for the Narrogin Hawks, we've got 3 for Ralph Kickett, 2 for Warren Thorne and 1 for Kyle Kickett. And for Williams Cats, 1 for Connor McNamara and 1 for Lewis Payne. Better players for Narrogin, I thought. Clearly the best player on the ground at the moment is Malachi Bolton, but there has been a few other guys that have helped him clearly. And Liam Todd's been very good. Caleb Rowe has been very good. Isaiah Jetta Bolton in the back line has been good. Johan Bolton in the back line has been good for them. And obviously Ralph Kickett up forward with his 3 goals has been very, very good for them also. For the Williams Cats, the best players are a lot harder to find. I thought David Medlin's been their best player on that outer wing. The ball's been over there a lot and he's been very good. Charlie Couches through the middle's been quite good. James Medlin had a bit of it that quarter. And Charlie Bully's been quite good in the ruck, but their best players they need some other players to really lift around them to help them get over the Narrogin Hawks in this second half. Yogs, anything else you want to add?
No, it was probably opportunities they took them, the Narrogin Hawks, and the Williams Cats didn't in the first quarter. So Cats will have the breeze in the third, and they'll want to come out and kick the first 2 or 3 because they don't want to be 4 goals behind at 3-quarter time, kicking into a slight breeze. But half-time, the reserves grand final. Narrogin Hawks 6 goals 1, the Williams Cats 2 goals 4. We'll take a short break back to the studio and be back with the second half in just a moment.
1.
Well, welcome back to Matera with the third quarter, about the start of the reserves grand final. The Narrogin Hawks holding a 21-point lead. Looks like the Hawks have got too many on the field.
That's a good way to start.
Well, he got off just in time, one would have thought. But if someone's listening down there, they can run a calculator around to the bench. That'd be handy.
Lucky we've got the 6-6-6 rule.
Yeah, correct. No one would have picked up on it. So ball back in the middle. The Hawks need the Cats need a big third quarter. So in the middle, they try and flick it back, try something different. Oh, in goes Kickett. He gets met by Phelps. Kickett goes back again. Phelps jumps on the footy. Good contest between those two. Kickett gets thrown to the ground by Phelps. That's the way the umpire sees it. He didn't really have to do it because the ball had spilt free. They might be going to just play a bit closer checking game. Goes in short, Curfew's there. Oh, he drops what he could have taken. Few short steps. He knew he had Williams Cats coming at him. Eventually the Williams Cats get it and they work it towards half forward. Down there was Medlin. He can't gather. Plenty of numbers around this football. Eventually Medlin comes out of the pack. Might have been... umpire says holding the ball. It's a quick one. It was knocked free. The Hawks get on with it quickly. They go towards centre wing. Cole Kickett's there in the van. Can't mark.
Joshy Couch.
Couch has got it. Oh, he did have it one hand.
Grab it.
Whoa! Gee whiz, that's just about a send-off in my book. Didn't even get a free kick.
Play on.
Unbelievable. Well.
It's out to Galvin on the far side.
Galvin. I'm a bit stunned by that because we had a pretty good view of it from here. Anyway, the ball's gone the half forward. Todd's in there, can't go. The Curfew goes in hard again. Umpire says we're going to have a ball up. And just fortunate that he wasn't injured in the play there, the Williams player, but he was taken high for mine.
Straight back up.
So ball to be tossed up. Inside 50. Up they go. No one can really win it. Medlin was in there. He's out the back of the pack. Can he gather? He gets pushed in the back. Umpire says, yes, he did. Player in Coleman. All over him.
David Medlin, you need to come this side, boys. You can't score from that side.
So Medlin goes down looking for the skipper. He's in front. Can't take the mark. Back of the pack, the Hawks have the numbers. Out there was Jetta Bolton. Feeds it through the pack to a player in Little. He whips it over the top in the direction of Galvin. Gathers just inside the boundary line. Gains some 25 metres out in front of Herbert. The ball crosses a line for a boundary throw-in. Yes, it's...
Williams need to play this side of the oval. You can't play wage and on the scoreboard side of the oval and expect to score freely.
So ball tossed in. Half forward for the Hawks. Goes out the back of the pack, taken by Rowe. Goes over his head round the corner. Coleman was first there, but ball had too much carry. So for David Medlin. Goes in short. It's a good kick. Finds a teammate in Bullied.
Not much movement though.
He goes with the left boot down the centre wing. It's all Hawks down there because Jetta Bolton at the back of the pack. Oh, drops what he should have taken. Just a bit of late work there from Warburton. Just got his fist on the ball. He's got it over for a boundary throw-in. And these boundary umpires are very smart on this side of the ground. They've stayed here all day. They said, it's all yours, Froggy, over there. Bully wins it to the front of the pack. Bursting through as his opposing ruckman to Herbert. Gets a soccer forward out in front of Little-O. Close to the boundary line. We're going to have another boundary throw-in. Well, the Williams Cats got to take a few risks, Duke.
They need to switch the play. They need to have something come this side. And whether it's Gary Fisher taking off from Ralphie from fullback, it's they need to try something here.
So the ball's tossed in. Lidlow was there. Feeds a handball through the pack. They flip it over the top. In there was Kyle Kickett. He gathers, has to release. Goes to Todd. Goes to ground. Eventually forces it out. It's close to the boundary line. Kyle Kickett bursts through again. Good tackle out there by the Williams Cats player in Lidlow.
We're going to set a record for the most number of boundary throw-ins on that side today.
Yes. Ball tossed in. Flick to the back of the pack. Who was there? It was Peace. Goes to the boundary line. There was Rowe. Feeds it into the Kickett direction of the Cole variety. Gets it towards half forward. Oh, might be interference. Coleman at the back of the pack. Advantage paid. And Elijah Coleman gets a very important goal at the start of the third quarter and gets the Narrogin Hawks 7th. They go to 7-1. They lead the Cats 2-4.
That might nearly be enough. It really does.
It feels it.
Yeah, Williams have to play exceptional footy from here, and their major ball winners just aren't winning the football. So they've got no one through the midfield who's getting enough of it. There's no Phelps or Warburton or Rozelle. They're just not getting enough of the footy. And
Hawks seem a bit quick.
And they're outworking them. I think Narrogin are outworking them, clearly outworking them. And they need to get a little bit going their way here.
So we're back in the middle. 4.5 goal margin. Umpire tosses the ball in the air. Up they go. Won by the Williams Cats, but they can't clear the centre circle. Malachi Bolton, he goes to ground, gets tackled. Umpire says held to him. We're going to have a ball up. It's Bazir in there then. Bully wins it down. Rowe gets it. Comes out to Medlin. He goes on the left boot. Oh, it's not going to favour the Williams Cats. Comes to Galvin. He looks behind, then goes forward. There's 2-on-1 down here. Peace has to spoil the ball at the back of the pack. Trying to fist it through there was Whitby. No one can gather. Going back to get it was Curfey. He gives it back to Whitby. Who gets tackled. Curfey into the back of a Williams Cats player. No free kicks as the umpire. Time to ball it up. Inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Not where the Cats want it. Bully flicks it to the back of the pack. Trying to break through was the Narrogin Hawks. Eventually taken there by Rozelle. Gets it to the far side of the ground. Back goes Malachi Bolton. Hadn't been in the play much this quarter. Couldn't get his hand on that one. Eventually Payne works it through, but the weight of numbers from the Hawks comes out to Ugle maybe. Goes towards half forward and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Wow.
So probably should have done a bit better then.
Tommy Peace.
So Peace.
Switch the play. Switch the play here.
Far side of the oval. Not much movement. Waiting on Peace. He goes down centre wing. Might have too much carry on it. And he says, well, I'll do what they did. Out of bounds on the full again.
I'm glad this wind isn't that strong.
So we wait on Malachi Bolton, far side of the ground. Clearly the best player on the ground in the first half. Been a bit quieter in the third quarter. He goes on the right boot towards half forward. Numbers there favour the Williams Cats. Player being held. Not sure which way it's going to go. It's against Curfey. It's going to go to Lidlow. So Lidlow. He's going to keep it far side of the ground. Well, it's a good kick too because he's found a player in bullied, but he's found him over the line.
Oh, another one.
So there's 3 out of the last 4 kicks have gone out of bounds on the full. So the free kick's going to come back. Herbert thought it was his, but eventually it's going to come back to Rowe. So Rowe's got the ball. Do a bit of an up and under towards half forward, and David Medlin at the back of the pack. How long's he had those shorts, Duke? Fair dinkum. They're more faded than my work togs. Not that I wear them much. And David Medlin gets it, and he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
I think he wore them in D grade. I think he's now late 30s.
Might have come from his dad's drawer, I think. So ball's kicked in. Inside forward 50. Up they go. Herbert tries to mark it. Comes to the front of the pack. May have been Mead down there. Goes around the corner. No, Mead's going to gather this one. No, he won't. Curfey goes through. Can't gather. Phelps was in there. Curfey goes again. Eventually comes out to number 31 for the Williams Cats. Took. We have a ball up, but they've just got no system at all going at the minute, the Williams Cats. Ball tossed up. Comes to Ralph. Kick it! Around the corner, but he's missed to the right-hand side. It's his first blemish of the afternoon. 3 goals, 1 to Ralph. So we wait on Fisher to bring the ball back into play.
The Williams run. I hope he's out there telling them they've got to come this side of the ground. I know I'm harping on about it, Yogi, but if they don't, they've got no chance at all of scoring, and Fisher goes to the outer side of the ground.
He goes out and no one can take the mark. At the back was McNamara. Gathers, gets it down towards the wing. Might have kicked it too far. No, it's just landed inside. So actually going to have a boundary throw in for once.
No, it's out of bounds.
Oh, it's out of bounds on the full. Well, there you go. So Caleb Rowe, been a very serviceable player this afternoon, goes on the right boot towards half forward. Out they come. Herbert from behind. Can't take the market in front. I think it might be Dixon, is it? No, he's off the field.
Bullied.
It's bullied.
Big ruckman.
So bullied. Goes far side of the ground again. Up they fly. Well, Jetta Bolton gets the crumb. Goes in the direction there. Smith was there. Can he get it back? No, he can't. The player down there was tackled. Was taken by Bolton. Pushed towards the side of the pack. Plenty of numbers around this football. They all jump on it. Galvin went in a bit hard.
There's a scuffle. There is a free kick to Williams out of this.
2 umpires come in. And
it's a free kick and 50 metres.
50.
Lewis Payne.
So Payne's got the footy.
Can't believe he was involved in the scuffle.
We won't go there.
I think it's a short 50 too.
But it's inside 50, so he's a chance.
Well, he kicked the first goal of the game from a lot further out than this.
Oh, he's got up and under that one and pushed it right. Minor score only. He's kicked 1-2 this afternoon. They move along to 2-5. The Narrogin Hawks are 7-2. As the Hawks get on with it quickly and go far side of the ground. They're controlling this football. It's Isaiah Jetta Bolton in the back pocket. Goes towards half-back. Malachi Bolton's in the van.
Oh.
Good strong mark in front of Phelps. So Bolton, he's going to go backwards. You would think there was 3 minutes to go in the last quarter.
He's taking time off the clock.
So Jetta Bolton's got it now. Goes down centre wing. Up they fly. The back was Lidlow. Gathers. Oh, I'm not sure where that handball was meant. Couch has got it, gives it back to Lidlow. He goes with the right boot down towards half forward. Phelps is in front. Malachi Bolton taps it to the back to his own advantage, but it's close to the line. A boundary throwing just in front of the scoreboard. It's been 1 goal with the Hawks for the quarter. It's been the only one scored. And it's just at a bit of a stalemate at the minute. So toss it in. Cats get it inside forward 50. Out they come. Pierce with a big fist. Cleans up the opponent all and sundry and gets it at the boundary line.
That's how you spoil up football.
Hart down there. Took the body of Pierce and he got up all right, so that's okay. Maybe that'll fire the Cats up. They need something. They just seem a bit flat. Ball tossed in. Malachi Bolton wins the knock, goes to the boundary line. They get a quick kick forward. No one can gather. Taken by Thorne. Goes towards half-back. Oh, fickle bounce, but Peace did really well. Feeds a handball out. Guess who? Medlin goes on the left boot. It's a good kick.
He's got McNamara.
He's found McNamara, who's a goal kicker this afternoon. He'll go back from some 40 metres out and hopefully, for the Williams Cats' sake, can put this one through.
Davey Medlin, he's been the only driving force that Williams have. He's getting plenty of the footy, but he needs some helpers.
So McNamara comes in on the right boot. Long towards full 40. Leans back, but he likes it.
He likes it.
He's got his second of the afternoon. The Cats get their third, and it was badly needed. They go to 3-5. Trailing the Narrogin Hawks 7-2, back to a 21-point margin.
He's a very good celebrator. I'll give him that much. He enjoys kicking a goal, and he's played quite well, actually.
He's been all right.
He's been one of Williams' better players. But they do need more out of these, the ones they've got around the football here in Rozelle, Warburton, and Phelps.
I haven't seen much of Liam Smith this afternoon. I'm not sure if he's on the bench. I can't see him on the field. And
quiet.
Been very quiet.
Is it half forward?
Oh, yes. Well, that's why he's quiet. The ball hadn't been down there much. Ball tossed in, wrapped up by... the Williams player was wrapped up by Caleb Rowe. We're going to have a secondary ball up.
Jake Nelson in the ruck, is it?
No one wins the ruck knock. Slap forward. Cats get it through. Maybe was it Lidlow? It was. Goes on the right boot towards half forward. Or good mark by McNamara. Takes the mark.
Amazing what happens when they come out this side of the ground.
So McNamara's got to play a free at left half forward. He decides to go long in the Pierce direction. At the back of the pack, he'll get this. No, he's dropped the mark. He'll soccer the goal. Oh, went to soccer it. Umpire says play on or kicking in danger. Ooh, so the free kick to Johan Bolton. Goes in short, finds a teammate.
Graham Bolton.
Graham Bolton. Where's Malachi Bolton? Is he the next link in the chain?
Kyle Kickett.
No, Kickett was there. Warburton was there. He gathers him.
Should have marked that.
Umpire says we'll have a ball up. So the Cats had their chance to get back-to-back goals. They just couldn't quite capitalise. Some 5 minutes left in the third term. Ball tossed up. Hawks there in numbers at the back of the pack. Kickett has to release it. It was a good tackle. It wasn't really a sling. Taken by Medlin. He gets tackled. Was too slow. And Rowe, been a fine player this afternoon. Gets the football, goes down towards centre wing. In front was Galvin, couldn't take the mark. He's got a little O. He's been all right this quarter, I think, Big Bobby. Eventually they feed it through to Curfey. Comes out the side of the pack. Someone might have been slung there. Narrogin Hawks player. It's going to go to Johan Bolton. So he's got the ball back with the centre circle. Gee, kicking for touch, was he? Going for a 40-20 or something like that. Up they fly. No one can take the mark. The Cats work it forward with this little kick out of the pack. Good fist there, down there from Bolton. Galvin was in there. No one can gather. Eventually it's Isaacs. Bolton goes back and gathers. They try and work it through the pack. Comes out to Coucher. Can he pick it up? Eventually he can. Feeds out a handball. No one in particular. Oh, went one-handed. The Williams Cats player. Was it Coucher again? Not sure.
Yeah, two of them there.
Two of them there. Couches everywhere. I'm standing next to one. Eventually comes out to Todd. He gets it on the right boot towards centre wing. Cole kick it. Heath Turner-Reid. Who can gather? Oh, they both get a fickle bounce. No one can gather. Comes back in the Medlin direction. Galvin gathers, gets picked up. Somehow he's dropped the ball. Oh, lovely little pirouette from umpire Tonkin. The way he played that free kick. Jetta Bolton's free behind the ball. So Medlin's going to thump it as high as he can in the direction of Pierce. Up he goes. Couldn't take the mark. They work it out of defence to the Williams Cats. Might have been a push in the back. Eventually, Payne goes bash crash. He thought he was a pinball machine. Umpire says holding the ball.
And we've got a scrap.
We have.
Oh, no.
He's reversed the free kick. He's reversed it. Well, and then another Williams player, and it's going to be 50 metres. Narrogin Hawks want to settle down.
Williams just want to go and kick the goal for their sake.
It's still on out there. I won't be surprised if a card comes out of a pocket in a minute.
I think there is a card coming out of umpire Tonkin's pocket. Definitely.
He's calling one of them over.
Yep. In the meantime, Lewis Payne has gone and kicked the goal.
So I'm just waiting to see... it might be Curfey, is it? Number 25.
Well, there might be more than one of them, the way they're all running.
Well, there could be three.
That's 3 yellow cards.
So Curfey, Galvin and Isaiah Jetta Bolton are all off the field. So.
Oh, no, Galvin's not going off.
Okay, so it's 12 and 25. Both been yellow carded. So 15 minutes of playing time. Well, no need for it. They're controlling the game, Dupe, and just silly play.
Yep, they have got control of this football game. It's just whether they can control themselves.
Well, they had a holding the ball against Payne and then retaliate and give away a goal. It's just stupid football. So ball back in the middle.
And they're one man short on the ground at the moment. There's only, we've got a 6-6-5 for Narrogin as one comes on. That will be an infringement, I would say, a 6-6-6 infringement.
Yeah, so it's a warning. It's only been in 8 years and you get warned. AFL have got...
Oh, well.
Yep. You know my point on that. If it's a decision, it's a decision. Anyway, whether it needs to be at this level, I'm not sure. Up they fly, the Williams Cats. Plenty of the umpires have got to keep control of this game.
They do.
It's good. It's getting a bit heated. I think they're doing a good job.
But I think the pressure's gone up in this last 5 minutes of this game. Williams put a bit more pressure on.
Herbert, no, can't win the knock. Eventually comes out the back of the pack. Williams Cats swarming in numbers at the middle. There's plenty of numbers around this footy, and we're going to have another ball up. Umpire Norton trying to maintain control. Ralph Kickett's come up into the middle of the ground. Wasn't touching it at full forward, I suppose, and come to... exert his influence as a coach of the side. Ball comes out the back. Phelps is there. He's tackled by Kickett. Umpire says we'll have a third ball up.
Ralphie might be there to settle them all down, hopefully.
Let's hope so. We've got some 3 minutes still left in the third term. Close as the Cats have been for a quarter or two. Peace tries to burst through. He gets tackled or feeds a handball out. Comes to Medlin. He whips it out the back. Comes to Warburton. Gets pushed as he kicks. Great chase by the Narrogin Hawks at the back of the pack. The Hawks have done well. They gather this through Ugle. Goes to half back in the Walling direction. Oh, the fish should have been there from the Williams Cats. They've got the numbers in there. They can't gather the ball. In goes Walling. Gets tackled. Medlin's got the ball. He's wrapped up in a tackle. It's very willing out there.
Malachi Bolton's had a lot of the football today, but that's probably one of the best things he's done is he's chased down tackle then and prevented a goal from Williams.
So the ball will be tossed up. Goes to the side of the pack. No one can gather. Eventually a quick kick out by the Narrogin Hawks, and it's a fortuitous one because Galvin was standing there all alone. He gets on with it quickly and goes down towards half forward to the back of the pack there. With a player in Coleman when he runs onto it.
Quick.
Gathers the ball, goes with his right boot round the corner towards half forward. They have the numbers down there, do they? No. Oh, it's pushed out the back of the pack towards Isaacs. He can't gather. Might have been head high against the Williams player. Umpire says play on. They soccer it out. Don't get it as far as I'd like. Oh, good pick up down there by Jeremy Eagle. Can he gather? Snaps towards full forward. Close to the line. Fisher goes back and takes the saving mark. He's got a player free on the far side of the ground. That's David Medlin. He won't want to go long because there's no one to get to, so he had to go back through the middle of the ground. Could have been interference. Umpire says play on. Comes to Bolton. He was always going to dummy. Has two bounces. Then slams it along the full forward in the direction there of Isaacs.
Run it over.
Can't take the ball, and it's crossed the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, Coleman looks like he's hurt himself on the far side of the oval. He is limping off, and I wouldn't be surprised if he plays no further part in this game.
So ball to be tossed in. Boundary umpires his first touch of the ball this afternoon, one would think. It comes down to Phelps. He gathers, feeds it through the pack to Lidlow. I'd liked his play this afternoon. Umpire's played a throw, has he?
No.
It's going to be a free kick. It'll come back to Phelps. He must have been...
dealt with after he got rid of it.
Yes, so he comes broadcast side. Eventually they're doing what you asked. In the direction there of McNamara. Couldn't get the fist on a fickle bounce of the ball. Williams Cats go in. Umpire says we'll ball it up, I think. So we haven't got long to go in the third quarter.
We're under a minute left. Williams can't concede a goal here.
Oh, through when a player, and it comes to Bolton, the man of the moment, from 40, long towards full forward. Couldn't pull it back enough, through for the minor score. The Hawks get their third behind it, 7-3 to 4-4. And I've just been sent a photo of my grandson. Thanks, Mia. Hopefully his dad's looking after him, so I can't see him here in the crowd this afternoon. So Fisher's got the ball. Oh, he didn't even run out of the square. He had plenty of vision, but he looks for Medlin, and why wouldn't you? He's been a good player this afternoon. Far side of the ground. Walling goes back to gather the ball, but it's crossed the line. Some 80 metres from the goal they're defending. It's 4 goals. I think it should be 4 goals 5 to 7 goals 3. So it's they're a goal closer than they were at half-time, the Williams Cats. So I think it is game on at the minute with 2 Narrogin Hawks on the bench with yellow cards. They try and burst through. Eventually comes to Rowe. Rowe's got it, goes towards half forward. Oh, good fist on it down there by the Williams Cats player. It might have been Payne, was it? Eventually trying to break through. Narrogin Hawks kick it, gives it off to Isaacs. Long towards full forward. He's kicked the goal, has he? Oh, one against a run of play. Oh. Isaacs.
Oh.
Well, we're going back to the...
It's one behind.
That's one behind. Overruled. So, umpire John Murray down there. They go long towards the far side of the ground as a siren sounds. Players are met heavily on the far side of the oval. Umpire's running over to make sure there's no confrontation. And I think we've got game on here in the preliminary final. 3/4 time. The Narrogin Hawks 7 goals 4. Lead the Williams Cats 4 goals 5. We've got a 17-point margin.
Yeah, the Williams lifted their intensity in the last 10 minutes of the quarter, played this side of the ground, the commentary side of the ground, and that's where you've got to play it, Wagen, and managed to score a couple of goals later. So goal kickers for Narrogin, we've got Ralph Kickett with 3, Warren Thorne with 2, Cole Kickett with 1, and Elijah Coleman with 1. And for Williams, we have Connor McNamara with 2 and Lewis Payne with 2. Better players for Narrogin. Malachi Bolton is still clearly the best player on the ground. The umpires probably won't have much of a decision to making that decision later on. Ralphie Kickett with his 3 goals has been good. Cole Kickett once again has been okay. Jetta Bolton before he got sent off was good. And Liam Todd probably didn't get as much of it that quarter, but Caleb Rowe was very good again that quarter. For Williams, the best players are harder to find. David Medlin's very, very good. Conor McNamara with his couple of goals was pretty influential that quarter. And a couple of young guys in Charlie Couch has been very good. And young Jake Nelson went in the ruck that quarter and was well done. So, yeah, it's a good quarter, three-quarter time of grand final. There's not much in it, and we'll see what happens in this last quarter, Yoke.
So 17-point margin, thanks to the Doyen at Upper H Southern and Tim Coucher for his special comments at three-quarter time. The B-grade grand final sees the Narrogin Hawks 7-4, lead the Williams Cats 4-5. We'll take a quick break and be back with the last quarter in a few moments. So welcome back to Matera Oval at three-quarter time in a pretty fiercely contested B-grade grand final sees the Narrogin Hawks 7-4. They kicked 1-3 for the quarter. And the Williams Cats 4-5 who kicked 2 goals 3. So 17-point margin with Isaiah Jetta Bolton. He was sent from the ground with a yellow card with about 5 minutes to play in the third term and a bit of a scuffle. So be interesting. The Cats need the first one of the last. So ball held up. Umpire Tonkin in the middle of the ground. Final quarter, B-grade action, 2023. Up they fly. Herbert wins this one down. There's plenty of numbers. Bolton goes to gather the ball. He was tackled high for mine. Umpire's on the wrong side. Oh, good officiating by umpire Norton.
Jared Norton, very well done, Jared.
He was on the correct side of the football. So Bolton got the football. Goes high and long to the far side of the ground. Littlelow at the back gets his fist on the ball close to the boundary line. Punches it out of play. Do they keep it in? They may. They do. They do. The Hawks, they work it by hands. Back there in the direction of Littlelow again. No one can gather. They're met solidly on the bottom of the pack, and we're going to have a ball up. Looking at the windsock, it's sort of blowing straight across the ground, but it just favours left a little bit sometimes. So
Narrogin Hawks won't mind if the whole quarter's played in this pocket, though.
Oh, correct. So the Cats get a quick kick out of the middle. Oh, a fickle bounce there for Ugle at the back of the pack. Phelps gathers, can't take the football, comes to Kyle, kick it, goes in the direction of Uncle Ralph. He's down there, gathers this way, that way, has to release the handball, does so. The Narrogin Hawks centering ball, but going back. Oh, met solidly was a Williams Cats player. He did really well.
Well done. Davey Medlin.
Medlin, and eventually James Medlin takes the mark, gets a kick out towards centre wing.
Charlie Coucher.
Couch has got it. Goes in the direction of McNamara. Back he goes. Can't take the football. Turner Reid was on top of it. Could have been tackled high. Couch was on the bottom. They try and work it out. They do so. Get it towards the middle of the ground. And Liam Smith's got the mark. Hasn't done much this afternoon. He's got to improve a fair bit, the youngster. Goes down towards half forward. Up they fly, back of the pack. They had the numbers, and Payne's taken the mark. He's 55 from home.
He's got to get it to Pearce one-on-one.
He goes long, puts it to the top of the square. Pearce and Ugle, up they fly. Ugle had first bite of the cherry. Pearce gets a little kick away somehow. Williams Cats player, they feed it through to the side of the pack. Can they gather? Malachi's down there. Stacks on the mill again, and we're going to have a ball up. Oh, it's holding the ball. Not sure which way he's playing.
He's dived on it. Bulleid's dived on it.
But Malachi's got the free kick. Goes in short in the row direction. One of the greatest of kids. Rowe's got it back, and then he centres the ball in the direction of Wally. Look out! Oh, through goes the Williams player. Missed all and sundry, including Wally. Fortunately, they feed it through. Comes to Bulleid on the left boot, but he's pulled it across the goal. Out close to the boundary line. Rowe's there, and it crosses in front of the boundary line.
Rozelle and Walling nearly had a big collision. They avoided each other there at centre half forward.
Well, Aidan Walling, he might not remember the grand final if he was a foot closer, I think. Ball tossed in the back of the pack. Oh, could have been a free kick. It was taken directly by a Williams Cats player. Tackles laid, pretty heavy one in that. And we're going to have a ball up inside forward 50, some 30 metres out from goal. The Cats need one. There's 17 points down in the last term. Ball tossed up. Kick it. Burst through the pack. Tried to do a bit too much. Gets tackled.
Ooh.
Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt.
He did get the benefit of the doubt. He was the only one playing the football, though, so it's a good decision.
Ball to be tossed up. Plenty of numbers around this ball. Play down there for... was 13 Nelson, wins a ruck knock, comes out to Medlin to, might have been Peace. He can't gather, umpire says play on. Oh, it's a kick out of the pack by Pearce, was it?
I think it was.
I think it was Ryan Pearce. He's kicked his second, he's kicked his first of the afternoon. Gets the Cats fifth. They're 5-5. The Hawks are 7-4. Game on.
Very much game on. It's a great goal. It's a good team goal. They're putting a bit of pressure on now. They've certainly lifted their intensity since about halfway through the third quarter. And Narrogin are just starting to slow down a little bit. They were way too fast from early, but Williams are starting to come.
So an 11-point margin into the third quarter. As we wait. Umpire doing a bit of a count check because the Hawks are already on one warning. So ball to be tossed up. It'll be Nelson and Herbert. Nelson flicks it down, or Herbert, he waited for the ball. Malachi Bolton gathers, gets tackled, but slips the tackle. Has a bounce, goes to kick, good chase down from behind, gets it towards half forward. Oh, dropping the mark down there was the Narrogin Hawks player in Moben Kickett. Ball stacks on the mill, and we're going to have a ball up, but Malachi Bolton makes a difference in the middle of the ground when he wins that clearance. He hasn't moved far. Hands on his head. Up they go. Fisted to the side of the pack by Fisher. Plenty of numbers around the ball. Peace comes through, gets a kick out in the direction of Medlin. He gathers, goes on the left boot. A little dinky kick around the corner to find Coucher. And he's got the ball at half-back. He goes down the wing. Up they fly. No one can take the mark. In there was Bulleid. Goes on the left boot around the corner. They've got a player free at half-forward if he can gather. Got plenty of time, but Smith goes in the direction of Pearce. It's going to go over his head. He does well. At the back of the pack was Payne. Couldn't gather. There's numbers. Pearce jumps on it and says this is not coming out. Umpire Norton right there. Good transfer of play by the Williams Cats from full back to full forward. So we wait. Umpire throwing it up. It's Pearce and Ugle, one down the side of the pack by Rowe. He gets a kick on it. It's a handy kick too because he's found a teammate down there, and Jeremy Ugle. Came out a bit too quickly for Williams Cats' liking. So Ugle's got it. Goes towards the centre of the ground. Up they'll fly. Lidlow. I've liked his second half. He's been good. He's got players free at half forward. That's where the ball should go. There's Williams Cats numbers there. Oh, he puts it to a nest. Where would you kick it?
Not to Malachi Bolton.
It's a bit like back in the day when Ricky Mott was waiting behind the ball. You just didn't kick it there. You knew he was going to mark it. So Malachi's Bolton's got, and he goes backwards to Caleb Rowe.
10 minutes to go. I'm not sure I'll be kicking it backwards yet.
I think the Hawks might have to kick a goal to win this one.
Yes.
They go down the line and find the old staunch Herbert. He's got the ball. Should be called to play on. He's going sideways. Umpire says you are now. Oh, and then he gets onto one of his famous spirals. Not sure they come off the boot that well, but he'll have a beer over that tonight. I'll give you the tip. Went through was the skipper in Medlin. Gets a little kick on the ball. So to go back and gather it. And the ball's held in. 4 to centre wing for the Narrogin Hawks. They lead by 11 points. Remembering they lost a close one by the heartbreaking margin of 1 point last year.
Maybe after the siren too.
It did go through after the throw, no doubt, but I think the kick was before. Through they go. Who's there? They can't gather. Eventually Todd gets it. Not sure how to release the ball. He goes back and gathers, gets tackled.
Good contest. And
we're going to have a ball. I'm not surprised the Williams Cats just spread a bit from this contest. They've got too many numbers around the ball. They want to drop one behind and push one forward, say, and see if they can get it out. They've got to get out of the pack situation. Ball tossed down, Payne was in there, eventually gathers, has to release a handball over the top in the McNamara direction. He just soccers it, wasn't the greatest, taken by Little, comes through the middle of the ground. They've got it through, not sure who that player was. Eventually, Sear tries to get it forward. Williams cast a bit of a fumble and a bumble then, and they mucked it up because they had about a 3-on-1 through the middle of the ground. Couldn't get the ball. Up they fly again. Good ruck knock there by Nelson to the side of the pack. Goes towards halfway out there. Oh, Bully gets pushed on. I would have thought. Umpire says play on. Comes to Rowe. Heats Tina Reid. Had Bully pushed into him, and the umpire says play on. Goes out the back of the pack. Oh, the tap forward. In there was Narrogin Hawks player. Might have been held. That's the way the umpire sees it. So Little's got the ball. He's got Cole. Kick it free at half forward. Streaming down the ground. Oh, he didn't have to break stride, but he couldn't gather it. Puts in the old Campese goose step when he didn't have the football. Comes out to Curfey. He feeds it through the pack. Could have been taken high. Oh, that was high for sure. Right in front of umpire Tonkin. The Narrogin Hawks player, Liam Smith's gone right over the top of him. Might be Todd, is it?
Liam Todd. He's been very, very good for them.
So they haven't scored in the last quarter yet, the Hawks. Don't really want to point. So I don't want extra time. So Liam Todd, long to the square. Where's Ralph? At the back, the Williams Cats are there. Fisher decides to keep it in. Thank you very much. Gets it out to the far side of the ground.
Graham Bolton with some pace.
He has a bounce. He'll dummy back inboard. Does so. Oh, he went a bit too far there. Went on the right boot. Can't go and pick the ball up. The Hawks do now. It's close to the boundary line. Very close to the boundary line. And it's over the line for a boundary throw-in. Still some 7 minutes to play. Term number 4, it's at 11-point margin, as close as the Cats have been for a long, long time. We wait on umpire Adams to have his umpteenth throw-in this afternoon. One to the back of the pack. The Hawks get a kick forward. Ain't goes as far as Bolton, been best on ground for mine. He just slams it on the boot as far as he can. Oh, there's 3 Williams Cats there. Went through all of them. Eventually they got it back again. Walling comes out. Oh, the skipper couldn't take the mark on the second bite. Goes to ground. He gets tackled by the Williams Cats. Umpire says we're going to have another ball up. It's been fierce and willing this last quarter.
A lot of ball ups this last quarter. They've put a lot of pressure on Narrogin when they haven't had the football.
Ball will be tossed up. No one really wins a ruck knock. Going through was Todd, who tried to do too much. I'm not sure how he released the ball. Smith's in there for the Williams Cats. Walling's on the bottom of the pack. And we're going to have another ball up. So we wait. Williams Cats need a clearance. Herbert wins this one down. Shark by Kickett round the corner with his left boot towards half forward. They can't, towards full forward, one should say. He can't go to the mark. Kickett goes in, paid for the free kick. The Cats scramble a kick forward. Nor Bolton was there for the Narrogin Hawks. Just bumps his way through one. Williams Cat gets it on the right boot. Looking for Uncle Ralph. Out he comes. Oh, he couldn't take the mark. Could have had his arms chopped. Umpire says no, play on. Eventually the Williams Cats work it forward, but they didn't have a good enough look. And the mark's been taken by Thorne. Thorne should take his time. Rose, free. Still free. He says, no, I'm going to bang it to the top of the goal square. Up they'll fly. Who's down there? No one can take the mark off hands. Eventually comes out to the Williams player down there in 33. Fisher was it, gets it close to the boundary line. They try and work it out, have to feed a handball through. Did pretty well to Phelps. He goes towards centre wing. Galvin's there with the Williams Cats player in Roselle. He's gone to the ground. Somehow the ball stayed in. They centre the ball to the Narrogin Hawks. And Malachi Bolton, some 60 metres from home. He's calling for someone to go behind the ball. That's the direction the kick takes. So Rowe's going to mark it. He's got a player out wide, goes in the Curfew direction. Well, it's not Curfew, it's Thorne. And he's taken the mark. Still time left.
Take a bit of time off the clock here.
Call play on now. It's too far out to score. Oh, wobbles one. The old B grade special to full forward. No one can take the mark. Curfew was down there. Williams Cats working out the back of the pack. Comes to Smith. Goes around the corner. Rose in the van for the Hawks. Can he gather? He's got company down there. He'd be looking for the boundary line, you'd think. The Williams Cats work it through. A handball to Phelps. Phelps has got it. He's got three players free on the centre, on the half-back flank. One of those Warburton who takes the mark, but he looks up and he's got no one to kick to. He's got to go in short, one would think. Smith's short. That's the direction the kick takes. He takes the mark. Williams Cats. They're out on their feet. Smith's got the ball, goes down the line. From behind, Ugle goes up, couldn't take the mark, comes to the side of the pack, close to the boundary line, and ushered across by the number 43 in Jeremy Ugle. Still time.
Williams Cats will need everything to go right for them, though.
Still time for Williams Cats. It's ball tossed in. One down towards Medlin. He couldn't gather. Bursting through was Jetta Bolton, who's back on the ground. Ball's out the side of the pack. Comes to Jetta Bolton. Goes with the outside of the boot around the corner towards half forward. Oh, great mark, Liam Todd. He's had a good game this afternoon.
He's had a great game this afternoon.
He's got the ball. Be called to play on any moment. They slam it into the full forward direction. Up goes Kick It from behind. Ralph and Kyle. Kyle on the left boot. Round the corner if you don't mind. He's missed to the left-hand side. We've got a 12-point margin. The Cats have got to go coast to coast and then get it back to the middle and kick another quick one. Might be beyond them, I think.
3 minutes to go.
3 minutes on the clock. Fisher. Waiting for a bit of movement. There's not much down the middle of the ground because that's where he'd like to go. Comes broadcast side, comes off hands. Bully was down there. Oh, fed a handball through to Phelps. Had too much heat on it.
Clayton South have a ball in.
And it's gone out of bounds. So Clayton South. Wasn't that Rotund when he was wearing the number 7 for the weight side?
He's chucked that over everyone's head.
He thought he was at the London Marathon again. He said, get us out of here.
Go back to the line, Southie.
Yeah, I think Southie should be behind the cars and throw it in from back there. Now he's got to go and gather. So we wait for the boundary throw in. I think the Hawks have done enough.
$5, this is short now. Yeah.
Oh, it's a better one. Herbert wins it down. McNamara's in there. So was Todd. Comes to Herbert. Gets banged into the ground. That's a dangerous tackle.
He hasn't got the football.
That's the way the umpire sees it. So Damien Herbert. He's some 40 metres out. He says he's having a shot.
Oh, calm down, he says.
He's 500 to 1. He's 500 to 1 to kick this. I'll give you the tip. Staunch Herbert.
Pull the socks up.
Tried to get his premiership last year and they went down by a point. I think he's going to get one this year. The veteran of the Narrogin Hawks comes in on the right boot at 500 to 1. Don't tell me. Oh, he's hit the post. Wowee.
Whoa.
I would have been buying him beers for a month if that had gone through.
It's a handy point, can I say that?
That's it. I think it's game over now. 7-6 to 5-5. Fisher brings it in. Broadcast side again. Herbert and Bully, but bullied in the front. He's been a pretty good player this afternoon. They've paid the mark. He was pushed as he kicked it. There's not long left now. 2.5 minutes still. Can the Cats work it down and get a goal? Maybe it's fitting if they kick 2 and the Hawks win by a point this year. The opposite margin to last year. We've had the last 4 senior grand finals have all been decided by less than a kick. This is a blowout in that formula. They go down the centre wing. Payne in front, goes to ground. Galvin at the back, goes sideways to Rowe, or sort of backwards a bit. Rowe's got it now. Malachi puts his hand in there and says, put it up here. He says, I won't let you down. Oh, it landed in front of him. Couldn't gather. He gathers, tries to break the tackle, has to release a handball in the Herbert direction. Bullied pushes it back. Oh, good play there by the Narrogin player and kick it. Force it through. Comes to Warburton. Out to the skipper. In Medlin, back to Medlin. He didn't really want it. It's close to the boundary line. It should have gone on the boot by the Williams Cats. But it's crossed the line. 2 minutes to play in the grand final. The Narrogin Hawks, after last year's heartbreak, looks like they're going to... Oh,
throw it in again, Southie.
Clayton South. He hadn't had much practice this afternoon. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Get Mitchell Adams over here. He's had plenty.
He's had 3 goes and he's run at 33%. Clayton South. Toss it in. Herbert works his way to the front. Todd was on the bottom of the pack. Flicks it out the back to the Williams Cats player in McNamara. He gathers it. Gives it to the skipper. He goes short. Wasn't the greatest of options, I didn't think. It was close to the boundary line and it's been forced across the line. Umpire Tonkin take control.
Hang on. We've got a free kick here.
Curfew's going to get the free kick. Or is he?
Let's work this out.
No, it's against Curfew. And they've taken him off the ground. I don't think he was carded or anything, but he's taken off. Bullied says, let's do the old mongrel punt to half forward. Out they come. It could have been a mark. It was a mark for mine to Rowe. Umpire says it touched the ground. No, it's not to Rowe. He's out the pack. It was a Jetta Bolt. So they take their time getting up. 1:45. Plenty of time for the in between games for the award ceremony and whatnot. It comes out the pack. They give it back to Medlin. He goes in the direction of the veteran in Pearce. Yuga was good. Got the soccer on the board in the Galvin direction. The Williams Cats playing. Dobridge was out there. Couldn't gather. Has to lay the tackle on Galvin. And the ball is going to be tossed up. Far side of the ground. Looks like the Narrogin Hawks are going to leave Matera over with 2 premierships this afternoon. Last time the grand finals here, they left with the league one as well, so it's a pretty good hunting ground for them. Comes out the side of the pack, trying to burst through was Thorne, I think it may have been. Gets it on the right boot towards centre wing. Lidlow, couldn't hold the mark. Kick it's in there. Gets it on the left boot. Tip down for Ralph. Oh, he nearly marked that. He tried to get it.
Oh, he's gone down.
He tripped over. Sure, he wasn't tripped. Umpire goes back to get it. In goes a player there in Whitby. He can't get her. And the ball's going to be balled up. Half forward.
Down.
Ball's tossed in. Comes to Todd. He gets slammed to the ground as he releases the football down the direction there of Isaacs. It's close to the boundary line. Forced across by the number 18, Josh Coucher. Boundary throw in. Deep in the right forward pocket for the Narrogin Hawks. Ball tossed in. One to the front there by Bullied. In there was Narrogin Hawks. They can't gather. Eventually comes to Marvin Smith. I'm not sure. Goes to the far side of the ground. Up they go. Contest there. Siren sounds to finish the B-grade grand final. And the Narrogin Hawks get a bit of redemption for their 1-point loss in 2022. There's a Williams Cat player down in that contest. Hopefully he's okay. The Hawks players helping him up. Final siren here at Matera Oval. The B-grade grand final. Narrogin Hawks 7-6 have defeated the Williams Cats 5-5, a 13-point margin. Got Tim Coucher for goal scorers and best players.
Alrighty, great game of football that. The best players, the goal kickers for Narrogin Hawks were Ralph Kickett with 3, Warren Thorne with 2, Cole Kickett with 1 and Elijah Coleman with 1. And for the Williams Cats we had Connor McNamara with 2, Lewis Payne with 2 and Ryan Pearce with 1. Best players for Narrogin Hawks, I think clearly the best on ground was Malachi Bolton. Very closely followed by Caleb Rowe and Liam Todd. I thought those two were outstanding also. Other good players were Damien Herbert, who rucked pretty much by himself all day, did a good job. Johan Bolton down back. Elijah Zaya Jetta Bolton and Heath Turner Reid also in the back line were good. And for the Williams Cats, I thought Davey Medlin didn't stop trying all day. He was their heartbeat. He was the one who got it going forward. He was very good for them. Charlie Bulleid in the ruck was good, along with young Jake Nelson in the second half. When he went into the ruck, he was very, very good. And also Josh Coucher and Charlie Coucher, for a couple of young fellas, I thought they were also very serviceable. So that's it for the reserves game here today. Congratulations to the Narrogin Hawks and taking it out. 7 goals, 6 to Williams, 5 goals, 5. As we said in the earlier games today in the D grade, Katanning Wanderers 4 goals, 4 defeated the Wagen Bulldogs 4 goals straight. And in the C grade, Narrogin Hawks 6 goals, 15 defeated the Wagen Bulldogs 4 goals, 7. We look forward now to a fantastic game of league coming up between the Katanning Wanderers and the Williams Cats, which will start in about 40 minutes' time. We'll run through some of the pre-game stuff with Big Kevin crew, and we'll send it to a breakdown, Norm, while they do the presentations of the reserves. Thank you.